Hey guys, John Lemme here, the founder of Conservative Digital and a host of the CBJ Real News Podcast Show. And I'm excited tonight to bring to you one of our inner circle incredible champions, an expert in the field of electronic magnetic field protection technology, EMF, 5G. We're going to unpack tonight in this show. Make sure you grab a pen that writes, take some notes, share this episode. I'm going to do a quick intro to I consider a friend of mine now, Lance. I got to know Lance in the last couple of weeks as we researched out, as you know, in a conservative marketplace, we want to offer the greatest products and greatest services for you fellow patriots. So Lance Shuttler graduated from the University of Iowa with a bachelor's degree in health science and is the CEO and owner of EMF Harmonized, an electronic magnetic field EMF protection technology company that is dedicated. I love that word dedication, you guys. It's all throughout all my books. Dedication is very important. That is dedicated to helping improve people's lives. And this is where we connect. He's a facilitator and a collaborator of big ideas, visions, and projects that spark creative and healing solutions in our world. Lance Shuttler, welcome to the CBJ Real News Podcast Show, my brother.
John, thank you. It is a true honor, and I'm very, very happy to be here. And I'm going to be bringing some incredible information, and I know that you and I both are going to have an amazing conversation. We're going to help spread a lot of good information for people.
That's right. And right up front, guys, I want to let you know the products and services that we're going to be discussing tonight. Many of you grabbed a hold of them. We had record-breaking movement of the products in the last about 10 days. So those of you that already received the products that we offer through the conservative marketplace from Lance, pay attention, and you're going to learn a lot. And those of you that are interested in the 5G protection, you can grab a hold of it by going to conservativemarketplace.com. You know, our store, conservativemarketplace.com, and it says 5G protection, and you click on there and it takes to another page. It says click here, and it goes out, and you'll see all the products that's available that we handpicked. And then I reached out to Lance, and Lance and I connected, had a great conversation, and I said, I want to really do an educational show about what EMF is, what radiation is, what technology is. So Lance, let it rip, young man. You know, a lot of people are confused about really the dangers of electronic magnetic field, what EMF is, what radiation, all that stuff going on with the smartphones and the laptops and Bluetooth and everything.
Absolutely, John. And people have a very good reason to be concerned and a very good reason to question. You know, even if someone doesn't necessarily believe it at this moment, I mean, there's going to be a lot of information laid out that tonight that shows contrary to that. And, you know, believe it or not, there's actually well over 1,000 published studies showing harmful biological effects in humans, plants, and animals with electromagnetic field radiation. Specifically, it's the radio frequency radiation within that EMF spectrum. So, you know, if you think about the eyes and the eyesight, we see a certain portion of the EMF fields around us, okay, or the field around us. And that's the colors of the rainbow that we can see in all the various shades in between. But within that EMF spectrum, there's the radio frequency, and that is what we are using when we're on our cell phones, on Wi-Fi, using tablets and so forth. And, you know, we can go into that, and we will a little bit more, but, the essence is that there's plenty of published data and studies showing the contrary. And there are top-notch world experts who are doing this. And, one organization in particular, John, is the International EMF Scientists Appeal. So this organization actually has 255 scientists, PhD scientists, who have all signed an agreement and a message that they put forth to the UN and to the WHO, stating that we need to have way more precautions as it relates to EMF radiation. And that message has largely gone ignored from.
You mean the United Nations and the WHO didn't listen to actual protecting people?
Exactly. It's sad because it's, they're aware of what this stuff does. And that action hasn't been taking place. But the good news is that there's so many grassroots organizations, and now even definite some politicians in local levels and state levels who are raising valid concerns and getting this out there. But this organization, John, International EMF Scientists Appeal, to even be part of this organization, you have to have had published a peer-reviewed study on the effects of EMF radiation. Okay, so these 255 plus scientists from 44 different nations around the world are the experts, and they know exactly what they're talking about, and they have been raising a lot of red flags and really trying to get the word out there. And the word is getting out there, thankfully.
So what's the big, like you say, red flag? So for everyone listening, what's the first thing should be of concern? We say danger, like 5G. Even people say, well, I don't have 5G in my smartphone, Lance. But like right now, we're in a studio. We have my wife's computer there as executive producer going, her smartphone, my smartphone, the computer that we use for our studio, and we have all this in the air. So when we say that technology, and we say the adverse effects in our human biology and physiology. So when you start to do your research as someone who's into, as we say, improving people's lives, well, when did the switch go on in your mind, Lance? You know what? This is dangerous, and I want to be able to offer products. And then you did your research, and now you're a marketer, and we connect, and we got great products and great services to be able to protect people. We use them. My dad's on tonight. He's 92 years young. He just received his package today, and we're putting him on his laptop and his my dad just got a smartphone 2 weeks ago. He had the old flip phone, right? And it would like one picture would take an hour to send through. So now he's upgraded. He's got the phone. My dad is fired up. He's your neighbor. He's right down in Boca Raton there, my dad, my mom. So, let's talk about some adverse side effects immediately for people, like some of the dangers that people can experience.
Yeah, that sounds great, John. So I'm going to share my screen at this moment.
Okay.
And yeah, we'll get into this. So, right here. Okay, can you see this screen, John?
No, it's not. Let me see if you know what? I think here we go. I got to add it to the screen. There we go. I don't know if we can.
Okay.
Let's see. You can read from it, Lance. It's small, but just I guess just read the points that come up.
No worries, John. No worries. I'll just read this off.
Okay.
Okay. So, to answer your question, what are the effects of electromagnetic field radiation? So, the state of New Hampshire, they actually put together a 1.5-year review where they took in a lot of different information on these studies. Okay. And they concluded a lot of different things. And I'm going to get to this, but I'm leading into it.
Sure.
There is one particular researcher, Dr. Martin Paul of Washington State University, and he has really, among many others, and I'm going to name some of these others too, he has led robust amount of research in electromagnetic fields and 5G in particular. And there are several different situations that he has explained in detail. And basically, we know for sure that electromagnetic fields, the harmful portion of that, can affect the cardiovascular system in several different ways. So the electromagnetic fields of the heart, all those neurons in the cardiovascular system, in particular the heart, those neurons communicate electrically. Okay. And so when that radiation from the cell phone and from the computer is interacting with our nervous system, we are actually picking those frequencies up. And then what's going on is then that will signal to the cell and actually all the way down to the DNA level to make certain changes. Okay. And the short of it is that these ion membranes in our cells open up. So it's called a voltage gated calcium ion channel. And basically calcium will flood into the cell and it will change the pH of the cell. And what that does is when we're changing the pH of the cell and then the body, we're exerting a wide range of effects. So cardiovascular, situation, there's been proof of fertility issues, people who are just very sensitive to different electromagnetic fields. And will cause different things going on with the brain. So it can be hard to focus. It can be way more stress inducing when we are around these electromagnetic fields, because it's literally changing our physiology. And so we can feel these things. Children, John, their brains, because they're developing and their skulls are thinner, they absorb about twice the amount of radiation in their brain than us adults do. And we already absorb too much as adults.
And I like, Lance, the way you're using the word, and I believe it really speaks to people, is the word radiation. People hear EMF, but people go, they know microwaves are not good. Now
Right.
we have radiation in the air getting into, and it's a great analogy. And I kind of envisioned, our cells and our ions opening up, and then our bodies opening up, and then bringing, and just basically we're microwaving our body, correct, to a certain extent, correct?
Yes, definitely. And, going a little bit further with those calcium ions, because some people will find this interesting, and this is the exact pathway of what's going on. So when those calcium ions flood into that cell and change the pH, what it's doing is it's actually reacting with nitric oxide. And then that creates something called peroxynitrite. And that compound, you can look this up, is very destructive to DNA. Okay, it will actually alter DNA in a harmful way. Okay, so these calcium ions, when it's reacting with the nitric oxide within us, creating peroxynitrite, and then that peroxynitrite damages DNA. And when DNA is damaged, then that's like flipping a switch in a way where a whole cascade of events are going to happen in the body. So on the flip side, if we can do things that support our health, and then we can, help our genes express in healthy ways. It's very interesting stuff.
No, I think it's very powerful, and that's why you guys realize what we offer now. And you can visit conservativemarketplace.com, and you'll see 5G protection. I love what you say, EMF prevention device, the computer protection strips. I'm looking at it right here. So, just one quick question. I'm gonna go back to the research. When that computer strip, it's a little gold strip. It's on my computer next to my mouse pad there, and it's on the back of my smartphone. How does that little gold strip? How does it prevent? Like I read it, which is great. And you guys are going to start to see now too. Lance sent me numerous articles. You're going to start to see on a regular basis coming out on our email database on Conservative Business Journal, probably 3 times a week, some updates, some new studies, and some new reports about the dangers of the radiation. And these are all writings from Lance. And obviously, then we'll give you an opportunity to grab a hold of the prevention device. So I know many people listening tonight that already grabbed a hold of the protection strips. How does that little gold strip protect someone?
Great question, John. So I'll get into it, and then we can circle back and come to it in a deeper way too. But I'll definitely start talking about this. So with the technology, this technology was designed by my business partner, and he is a former scientist he worked at Texas Instruments and Nokia. He actually led a team of over 150 different scientists, and they actually had patents in 2G and 3G technology. And when I came across who he is, he and I partnered together, and I knew I was going to be able to help get this technology out in a really big way. And so that's what happened. Now, how does it protect? Okay, I'm giving his background so people understand that this is, coming from a very scientific standpoint, even though this technology is very advanced and unique in different ways than the mainstream science would look at. Now, there's definitely very good mainstream science showing this, but this, John, like, people have been conditioned to be very sold into the old system from the science. The science has been brainwashing people in certain ways, and it's we're on the same page. But this technology, we're using scalar waves, okay? And these scalar wave frequencies will actually interact with our biology, okay? And so we've got a thermography and red blood cell test that we did. And what we showed is that the frequencies that we program into these holograms, because holograms store frequencies, we're using this Mylar technology, which is used in NASA and other like space programs that store frequencies. And when these frequencies are around a biological organism within like a foot, then we are actually transmitting that information and that energy from those frequencies, and our actual physiology will pick up on that. The DNA actually acts as a fractal antenna, and this is something that Dr. Martin Blank had published, and this is on PubMed. I mean, you can look this up. DNA is a fractal antenna in electromagnetic fields. This was a very respected scientist. He worked at Columbia University Medical Center, and he was part of the physiology and cellular biophysics program. And he actually started that organization that I just mentioned, which is the International EMF Scientists Appeal. Okay, and so what's going on is the frequencies will interact with our DNA, and then it will exert and then create beneficial physiological effects. And so we can show that how with these red blood cells is that when exposed to radiation, the blood cells will start clumping together. Okay, and the actual scientific term for this is roping. The red blood cells lose their negative electrical charge on the outer cell membrane, and so they start clumping together. And when that happens, they can't carry oxygen. They can't get oxygen where it needs. And so what happens when there's less oxygen? Less life. And so the cell is impacted with what it needs on a very fundamental level, oxygen. And so when that happens, a wide range of effects can take place. And you had asked earlier what sort of effects are there. There's so many that I only listed the major ones, and it's
funny. It was an inject for a second, Lance. And the reason why you might see me having a happy smirk on my face, because I know Dr. Betsy and Dr. Krista are both listening to this, and there are inner circle doctors. And we did a whole show. I believe I sent you that show with Dr. Betsy and Dr. Krista. And we talked about killer 5G and killer foods. And this has been an entire setup. My listeners from the radical left, the communist left, and the cabal combined with 5G, the food and everything. And this is amazing. The words, it's amazing, Chrissy, right? It's brilliant. It's just basically we're blocking and we're keeping our cells in our body alive, full of oxygen. And it's basically like a blocker. It's like the front line to keeping the radiation out of your DNA and your cells and keeping your blood oxygenated, correct?
Yes, exactly. And, we take the technology and we've applied it to different applications too. So like promoting a healthy inflammatory response. And we did a thermography study showing that, the red, which represents, more heat and inflammation in the body, it actually shifts over about a 20-minute time lapse, and it moves to green. And we actually did this, and we can show that when it moves from red to green, that's showing that the body is cooling and it's creating a healthy inflammatory response. So the overall answer of what you asked at the beginning of this little aspect is, how do we know that it's working? How can we show it's working? How is it working? We have the technology to convey these frequencies to the human body and to animals and plants as well, actually. And this stuff is able to actually be backed by good science, and we can actually see with our eyes that something is actually happening physiologically. And that's what's most important, because there's so many studies where it's like epidemiological studies where they're just taking in surveys and questions from people, and that's very important and good, but there's so many different factors of what someone's doing in their life, and asking questions. Maybe someone's just having a bad day, and like that can throw off data. But if you can see what's happening on a cellular level physiologically, then you can see that something is actually happening, and that's what we do.
And that's excellent. And I believe that's how once you apply. Look, I have the strip on my phone below my case. I know we went back and forth by email on that, and you said to put the strip right on the phone. And people have this up to their head the whole day. And what, Lance? Even as I do that and I show that, what goes through your brilliant mind? You get fired up about that, right, young man? This is like radiating your head without the strip on it. It's literally insane. I want everyone to realize that. And that's why we researched out the best. This is not a strip you can buy at the dollar store or Walmart. We have the best of the best. There are strips at, let's be real, at Dollar Tree. The Dollar Tree strips are not what Lance has designed and created, and that's why we've teamed up to protect you. And that's just a fact. That's capitalism. Everybody wins. Great product, great service, great consumer, great follow-up, great consistency. So, I mean, it's literally, so what went through your mind when I put this up to my head?
You should take that away as fast as possible.
What about when you see the kids doing it? What about when you said earlier, when you got the, 2, 3, 4-year-olds and they're playing like mommy and daddy and they're holding the phone like that?
That's even worse, because again, the children's brains are not as thick, and so their skulls can't essentially block as much radiation as us adults can. But again, us adults, we shouldn't be doing it, and it is like even especially more so for the children. So there's been had a lot of conversations with people who have been wanting to get the technology into schools, and some we have, and that whole concept is very interesting, because I remember when I was a young kid in elementary, I couldn't even imagine being inundated with the amount of radiation that's in Wi-Fi and all the tablets, the devices that they're on 8 hours a day, and it's definitely harming them. And a lot of schools and parents and moms especially are really taking action, helping people. One organization in particular, Children's Health Defense, they have been like really leading the charge in advocating for the safety of children for a lot of things, as you guys know. Sure. And especially 5G and EMF radiation.
So what's the difference of like 2G, 4G, and 5G? I know Dr. Betsy's on and she's fired up. She's listening. And I published an article for her about 5G, about this deadly effects. And obviously she's a doctor and we've done 15, 16 shows about the vaccine, the side effect, all that, all that crap stuff. What's the difference of, 2G to 4G? And then when you heard that they were now producing 5G and unleashing it on human beings, and what went through your mind about that too? About that's just the next level of radiation, correct?
Yes, exactly. And, it's gonna, if it reaches a certain level, because there's a spectrum even within 5G. So 5G, it is a frequency, but there's varying range within that. But even more so, John, 5G is actually kind of like a topic, because what the ultimate goal from like a telecom standpoint is to connect everything and make the internet of things. So like, this is already happening in certain ways, obviously, but example would be in your refrigerator, your microwave, your clocks, your lights, your internet, your TV, all sort of connected in one thing. And you could look at that in different ways. To me, I definitely don't want that sort of infiltration of my privacy, and not to mention, again, you would be literally radiating your entire home with that technology. And like the Alexa devices, those sort of smart devices really are emitting a lot of different harmful, they're emitting, harmful EMF radiation for sure. And so 5G just basically amps up the frequency, and information can get conveyed much quicker. So that's one of like their selling points is, hey, we can transfer all this data very fast. But the way that they can do that is because they have to have cell towers and little points of contact so close that you're literally, yes, you have immense speeds to transfer data and information, but you're ramping up the frequency and literally radiating whatever's in the environment. And so like right now they're wanting to put all these cell phone towers and these 5G antennas throughout the streets in the neighborhoods, and they're doing it clearly in some places.
That's right.
But they have to have it every it's only every like several hundred feet away. So like, what is that? 4, 5, 6 homes, each every 5, 6 homes, or whatever it is going to be emitting those frequencies, and it just creates a grid of literal EMF smog pollution.
That's amazing. I mean, smog, pollution, radiation. I mean, that's like you're living inside a microwave. And so, how fast do the strips work? As soon as you put them on the laptop, as soon as you put them on your smartphone, as soon as you put we'll talk about the band you have also.
Yeah.
As soon as you put them on, how fast does it work with the radiation and the kind of the communicate? You know what it is too for everyone. You know, we talk a lot about nutrition and health and so forth. I say, I'm 56, I'll be 57, obviously prescription free, very into health, very into whole food and living a lifestyle. And I want everything to increase my energy in my body and live food, live energy. And this, I mean, you're putting yourself inside a mic. I really like our conversation, Lance. It's a radiation box. I mean, and I know many of you listening realize that every 400 or 500 feet, you have basically a microwave just radiating 5G all around you. And it's insane, right, Christy? Isn't it? I mean, it's really it's a good visual for people to see that, and then you're walking into it. So how fast does that do these strips and devices work on the devices?
Yeah, definitely. So, once they're placed on the device, I mean, we can confidently say with like the red blood cell studies that we've done, and then the microscopy and thermography, within 20 to 30 minutes, there will be starting to have biological effects. And, after that, it's really just once you come back to your computer, you're going to be there. And again, it's like, it's not going to be instant because those frequencies have to, communicate with you. But as you're at your computer, you have the technology on it. It's absolutely protecting you. And that's what the most important thing is. And what we're doing, John, is we're not actually blocking the EMF radiation. This is a really important point of what our technology is. We're not blocking it. We are changing how the body responds in the presence of EMFs. Because if we block it, we actually cut the signal. And so our devices, A, either wouldn't work, or B, the signal is going to be lower. And then what that will actually do is the device has to work harder to pick up the signal. And so it's amping up its own frequency to try to grab enough. And that in and of itself is creating more EMF radiation. So this is how it's different from other products out there. Like there's certain situations, yeah, you want to just block it. That's fine. But, we're having this conversation right now on technological devices. And
Right.
This is a really good thing in this moment. And so we want to use things that allow us to use this technology while getting to the root of the issue, which is helping to protect ourselves physiologically. Because the EMFs, again, it's not that they are harmful in and of themselves, but it's what happens to us as humans or the animals, or the plants around it, the biological life, all biological life. It's what happens in response to that. And so if we can change what happens and support the health of what happens physiologically at the root, then that's what we're going for.
That's real good. That's real good. That's an excellent explanation, because that's right. Because if you shut it down, nothing's going to work. We've seen a black screen. We'll be back at the old days of holding a can up to our nose with our ear with a rope. So let's people love their pets. People love pets. People love animals, and I know in all of your articles, and we're going to be publishing a lot more of your articles. When we talk about what 5G does to animals and the dogs they love, and the man's best friend, quote unquote, and the pets and so forth. What does it do to pets? So what do you put a strip like on a dog's nose? Like, do you have dog strip? What?
No. We are working on pet products though, for sure. We
Excellent.
don't have them at the moment, but the good news is that, okay, let's say you have your cell phone next to you and your pet is next to you as well, and you have the technology on you. That those frequencies, again, it's just interacting with all biological life. And so the pet is going to be absorbing those frequencies as well. And secondly, pets, dogs and cats in particular, their nervous systems are way more sensitive to the electromagnetic fields. And it's just, they can really feel those things in a different way. I mean, like the example of a dog waiting for you at the door when you come home, they can sense those things.
Same as they feel the storm, like a storm coming. They feel
Exactly.
the storm. That's phenomenal. That's a great point, right? Everyone, I know that's really striking a core of people, because a dog can sense a storm. Especially my wife's from Tennessee, and dogs can even forewarn people of tornadoes coming. Correct? That's guys, and as you know, and you said cats. Do cats have even higher frequency because, our audio video team leader, Evan, is a cat lover. So he'll edit this video and see this video, and he edits all our videos for years and part of our team for 4 years. And he's a cat lover. As you guys know, on Conservative Marketplace, we have a patriotic pet bow tie and we have a patriotic pet bandana. So, we'll be introducing some more pet products, but, and we also have some pet nutrition there too. Well, it's interesting if everyone loves their pets. So when they're on the phone texting and the pet's sitting on their lap without the strip on it, guys, and that's why, look, and it's real simple too. I want to show something real quick, and then you could explain it. This is that's the computer EMF protection strip. So I just realized I do have, that's a little gold strip that we put on a computer. And then this is the oh, sorry about that. That's the computer one, the same one there, right? That's the computer one. Let me show I'll explain that one. That's how small it is. And then I'll show the smartphone one. That's literally how small the strip is. It's not like you're wrapping it up with like a big, huge, like, silver tape or something.
Right. Yeah, they're very small. And it's good because, they're very discreet. But those, John, are in particular designed for computers, tablets, routers, and devices like that.
That's interesting. Routers. You put it on your router too.
Yeah,
that's good to know.
Definitely. Yeah.
So should you have one? I'm just conversing about my own situation. So should we have one? Like we have it on a laptop here. Should we put one on a router in the studio also? That's a good idea, right?
Yeah. And if there's no one around within 6-10 feet of the router at any given time, it's not 100% necessary. But if you're like around that router, within 6-10 feet, you definitely want to do it. And something that I suggest,
it's just Christy. See, it's just my wife. It's all right. She's laughing because she's right by the router over there across there. So
okay,
right.
then definitely. And what I always suggest to people, this is free information, is at night in particular, unplug your router before you go to bed. And if you can't control that, like if you're in an apartment complex and there's other people around you, do what you can. First and foremost, like I personally will turn my phone off in terms of the signal. Okay, so I will use it also as an alarm, but I keep it in a separate room, and there's no calls or texts coming in. Everything's turned off. Just the phone is on airplane mode, and that is like free and simple and easy ways that everyone, even if you're using this technology, I still strongly encourage people to look into that information because
it's good. It's excellent.
You're going to sleep better. It's people will sleep next to their phones with their phones on and just fall asleep in their bed with it. And, that's not to put those people down. I've done it. It's simply, okay, we need to become aware of information and then take action, to move on from that. Because if you're sleeping with your phone on next to your head, that radiation is literally just penetrating your brain the entire night.
That's crazy. And I agree.
You're not going to sleep well doing that. You just
that's phenomenal. And that's Carol. What you said, I see Carol's on. And Carol said, great information. Carol's one of our top supporters. Carol
awesome.
from
Thanks, Carol.
Louisiana. This guy, that's huge, right? I suggest all of you, we're going to order more to put them on the routers, right? One here and one in our home. Why not protect yourself as much as you can and protect yourself against the enemy, as you know, because they're after you. I know Dr. Betsy and Dr. Chris are both out of their minds. And Dr. Krista, who's a holistic practitioner for years, she's authored a book, 8 Secrets to Destroy Pharmaceutical Companies 6 years ago. She knew Big Pharma was the enemy. She was at a continuing education conference 10 years ago, and they were offering a chair you sit in that had some EMF protection. It was like $10,000 for the chair. And they were like, this is coming down the line. And that was just the beginning of like the flip phones, when people went from the big box phones to just carrying a phone. So now where we're at, and guys, here's the strip right here. Let me show it to you here for the phone. It's super simple. All of you, grab a hold of numerous packages of this. Just guys, visit conservativemarketplace.com. and you'll see 5G protection. For those of you watching a replay, you'll see right below here in the video description, you'll see the direct link to it, to the conservative marketplace. So it's 5G protection. I mean, cell phone EMF protection disc. I mean, that's how you do it. I mean, there's no question about it. It's simple. And I really like what you said. It's all about the blood cells, all about the red cells. And we hear about all the vax crap with the clotting and the blood clotting and all that. It's absolutely just, I mean, it's phenomenal. I mean, I'm learning so much, right, Christy? Yeah. I mean, it's so important because it is a war. And I'm still envisioning, Lance, the every 400 feet of 5G tower. Like Dr. Betsy did a video. She put it up on a Telegram last week or a week and a half ago, about 2 weeks ago, where it was at a university of Florida, I believe, where they started to put them up inside palm trees in universities to kind of disguise the 5G, which is absolutely just insane.
Absolutely. And I remember, John, back all the way in 2016, I was in California, and there were Gwen towers, GWEN. That it's a whole other topic, and I'm not even going to get into it. But Gwen towers, these were military grade towers that were, not so well disguised as palm trees, just as you have described. And those Gwen towers can actually be used to act as crowd control and, really emit very strong frequencies if needed. And so, yeah, they're trying to mix them in with palm trees in the landscape, but people see them. And, even if people aren't really aware or they don't care, people intuitively know, and people are waking up fast that that's not normal. It's not natural. No. There's something going on with it, even if they can't pinpoint what it exactly is.
I know right now, Dr. Bessie's jumping around like a Mexican jumping bean about the military towers and just turning on the 5G. And once you took a picture of them, we also talked about COVID, and we talked about Milan, Italy, and we talked about New York City, and we talked about how they turned the 5G way up at that point. And all of a sudden, these people, in Wuhan got all this diseases and all, quote unquote, the virus crap. So this is such an important show because this is why we do what we do, guys. And once again, real quick, I got so fired up. We're 40 minutes in. Just real quick, station identification. Make sure you guys do follow us on Telegram, Rumble, and Cloud Hub. CLOUTHUB.com, adult channel CBJ Real News. Make sure you do visit conservativebusinessjournal.com, our main website. Submit your best email, and we sent today. I sent 3 emails out. We communicate a lot with updated news articles, obviously getting ready for a live show, and then we send replays out. So submit your best email address, and then grab your protected smartphone, your 5G protected smartphone, and however you download your favorite podcast app, either the Apple Store or Google Play Store. Our podcast app is on the Conservative Business Journal, and just subscribe. It's free. You can also get the app for free by going to conservativebusinessjournal.com, click on podcast, and then you'll see get the app now. And we're on every podcast platform out there. And what you do, and this show about real news, it's library of episodes, and you take Lance's last name, which is SCHUTTLER. Just type this. You listen to this a month from now. And you go to your smartphone, download the podcast app, type in his last name, episode comes up, and share the audio podcast. This is real news information that, quote unquote, I don't believe they're the mainstream anymore. I believe we're the mainstream. There's a war on people's health. I mean, there's no question about it. And this is such an informative show tonight, yet it's simple. And I want to say it again because we had these questions come up, Lance. I know you spoke to some people on the phone, Christy, about, well, I see these prevention device strips, I see them, and I see these I'm going to talk about the energy wellness bands now. Yeah, I see these wellness bands at Walmart for $3 and $2, and how come the one on your site is this amount? And I said, let's be realistic. Do you think a Walmart or dollar store wristband, and I want to show that right now, the wristband that you also offer, which is tremendous. The energy and wellness wristband, kind of explain that technology, how that works, and when you guys created that and introduced that energy and wellness wristband. And once again, any questions you guys have, you can always call or text us at 561-847-3467, 561-847-3467, or email us at team at conservativebusinessjournal.com, and obviously visit conservativemarketplace.com. And then you'll see the category 5G protection. Can you show the wristband again, Lance, and we'll full screen now again? There you go.
Absolutely. Okay, so you can see the hologram right here. And this is what the wristband looks like. And I've got mine on here. So these wristbands, John, there's different frequencies in there for us. And it's more so for overall health and wellness. And now there is an EMF protection set of frequencies in there for sure. But this one is more so just for like overall health, overall supportive physiological wellness. Okay. So people ask, well, can I use the cell phone disc and the wristband? Definitely. And is one better than the other? The answer is no, because they're doing different things. So truly, this is a factual statement. Someone is better protected if they've got the cell phone disc and if they've got the wristband. The wristbands actually sell. I mean, the cell phone disc and the wristband sell, amazingly well for us because people just gravitate towards them, and they know, like, most people have a cell phone and they're using it with their hand, and so having something else on the wrist is very beneficial. And John, we have people write in reviews that humble me to my core, man, because they're really helping people in immense ways. And
I have to be honest with you. The one you sent us, I gave it to my dad on Sunday. Yeah. So my dad is actually wearing it right now. So my dad's more protected than me. He has it. He's 92 and fired up, and he's got a smartphone. And my mom's 90 and she's fired up on it. And it's, guys, it's amazing because you have to realize, obviously all my followers and subscribers and all the new listeners and subscribers tonight, this is why we do what we do. This isn't a game. We're in a war. They're in population control. And the 5G, every 400 or 500 feet, 5G radiation, you're putting yourself inside a microwave oven. And that's why you want to put as much prevention as you can, eating the right food, hydrating yourself, everything we teach. And we consistently hammer the fundamentals. And this is something you want to get, especially for your family, coworkers, associates, especially you're working in an office environment. I mean, all the COVID was always a scam, but you're back in the office, you have 10, 20 laptops, computers in there. It is like you're walking into a microwave box, right? I mean, I suggest people to take it and put a strip on your computer at work, just since you're sitting right there. It's your blood cells. It's your red blood cells. It's so important. Then you got people, and we won't go down this rabbit hole, but you got people that are vaxxed up. You got the shedding. You got the spike protein. You have all that in the atmosphere. I mean, you better do as much as you can to protect yourself. It's tremendous.
Yeah, definitely. One of the overall concepts of health and wellness that everyone can benefit from is detoxification. And there's a lot of things people can do. And the first and foremost thing that I always recommend, and it's free in general, is to sweat. So sauna, steam room, those are like the best. Exercise, obviously, working up a sweat and sweating, because if you can relieve what happens is when you're sweating out toxins, whatever it is, just general toxins from the skin, you're relieving more of the burden that the liver would bear to have to detox that stuff. So in short, if you don't have to detox as much through the liver's job is easier, and there's not as much stress on the liver. And that is something that we all, as humans, want to strive towards, is not putting stress on the liver, because then it has to work harder to detox and so forth. So sweating, free and simple. We actually, John, have detox patches ourselves.
Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about, because we didn't even converse about this, about expanding upon the pouches. But we got a pain patch story for you, Christy, right? Where she had a little shoulder challenge, because we're in the process of selling our home, and I'm the project manager, Lance. I'm the foreman. She's from Tennessee, so she actually does all the work. So I was just the foreman. We hired someone doing a lot of work, but she was doing some cabinet work, and her shoulder hurt. And that was the day that you sent us the patches, and we put it on. And you put 3 of them on, and also the next day I said, "How do they work?" And she's like, "You know what? I felt no pain." Right? So you just tell about a little bit of the story, Christy. These are available also when you go on the 5G protection. Click here; it takes you out to Lance's site, and you'll see the patches on there.
It was probably a combination really of the cabinet work and boxing, because I do that, and we use a lot of shoulders, and I always have a pain in one shoulder, and it's nothing that doesn't go away, but I noticed it. I mean, the next day immediately that pain was gone. So, it's definitely and I would tell you if it didn't work, but it definitely did. I could notice a difference. And that's something even John's dad, who has had a shoulder
Yeah, my dad was
replacement.
gonna. And we had
Yeah.
people come to us with patches. We had morbidly obese people telling me about health patches. I'm like, dude, you're like 300 pounds of weight, jacked up on prescription drugs. I'm gonna try to sell something you're telling me about. Literally, Lance. I mean, right, Christy?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a fact. I mean, that's why I was excited when we connected. So just share with everyone about the patches. How and guys, this you've never heard me talk about this, and all of you know this patchomania out there. And Lance has it through his company. We're offering them, and he sent us some samples to use. And our review so far in the last couple of days, we gave it to my dad on Sunday, and he told us on Monday. He says my shoulder feels really good with it. How do your specific ones work?
Yeah, definitely. It's the technology we're using specifically, and how we're doing it with the scalar wave technology and programming those frequencies in. And I'd like to share one review from someone that like really moved me, and like this is 100% authentic. So
Sure.
this person wrote in, and again, we've had some reviews that are just mind blowing and really make me grateful for my life and my health. And this person has been suffering from a disease that they call the suicide disease, because what happens is a shooting pain will go up their face and throughout their nervous system, where it will just literally stun them into stillness because of the pain. And people often cannot live with that pain, so they end up taking their lives. So they call it suicide disease. And this is this person wrote in and said that she put a patch on, and I don't remember the exact time frame, but it was within a few hours to maybe later that evening. She said that the pain had gone down, and then the next day she said she was able to do things that she normally is not able to do, and that the pain actually for a while, for about a full day, completely went away. She was able to do live freely and happily. Now she had, you have to replace these every 2 or 3 days, because the oils and the salts on the skin actually will start to interact with those programmed frequencies in there. And so it starts mixing, and they essentially become ineffective after a day or two. Now, some people will literally wear them up to a week and still feel effects. We just say 2 or 3 days, because that's just like a good recommendation for people and what is generally felt. But it's not uncommon for people to wear these for more days than that and still feel effects.
Well, that's powerful. It's a great.
Something someone just asked, what about on the phones and computers? How long do those
Yeah.
last?
What about on the phones and computers also, Lance? How long did it last?
Yeah, we've tested them at 1.5 years, and we've been able to show, still the same sort of effects at 1.5 years. I personally think it's longer than that, but we can definitively say 1.5 years.
Man, as a marketer, I was thinking maybe a month I can sell more, but I'm just kidding. And when you switch phones, can you take it from one device to another if you upgrade a phone or add to another phone?
So yes, but you don't want to bend or create a crease in the cell phone disc or the computer strips. It will mess with the frequencies that are in there.
Interesting.
And essentially make it ineffective. So yeah, you can take it off, but you got to be very, very careful. I mean, that's
I would suggest to buy brand new ones, get them delivered to you, and get new ones. And once again, somebody asked specifically, how do I get a hold of these guys? Visit conservativemarketplace.com. That's our store. And when you go there, you'll see the categories 5G. Click on that. Then it opens up to where it says 5G protection for you and your home. And it says click here in red underlined. And there's 2 asterisks before and after the word click here. And then when you go there, it goes out to Lance's site. You'll see it there, and you'll see the categories. You'll see the cell phone EMF protection disc. You'll see the computer EMF protection strips. You'll see the energy and wellness bands, the body relief patches we just talked about, and then the work from home kit, which is a great value bundle. Then the friends and family protection bundle, and then the detox patches, and then the Sweet Dream sleep patches. You sent me those, and I actually wore them the last 2 nights. And I had some awesome dreams the last 2 nights. I mean, I put it right here. went to bed. I was fired up. I mean, I literally, we didn't even have this conversation. They're really awesome. And Dr. Betsy, she said doctors can't turn off the phones. Dr. Betsy, I'm your coach. Turn that phone off for 6 hours. You need to sleep for 6 hours. Turn the phone off, Dr. Lance. Yell at Dr. Betsy. You can yell at her. Say, turn off your phone for 6 hours. She can't respond right now. She can just comment on Cloud Hub and comment. But she's one of the greatest doctors. She's had 4,000 patients during the COVID stuff.
Wow.
Never put COVID in death certificate. Knew it was a scam from the beginning. She's one of our best friends. She should be at all my live events. You know, I believe you'll be at our events. You guys will get to meet face to face. And this is because we're bringing the best of the best together. And so tell everyone about the dream patches.
Yeah. So those are frequencies where we're actually able to program in the frequency of melatonin and many other different frequencies, but specifically melatonin. So it actually helps the body to naturally create it and release it. And this is just one of the ways in how it's helping. So the reason we put it up here towards the neck is because we're also basing this off of the placement of the patches. Now, that's specific for the detox and the sleep, the body relief patches. Those can be placed just wherever, you know, those occasional aches and pains are at. But the sleep and detox, we have specific spots. And the sleep, like you just pointed out, John, up towards the neck here, that's according to the, you know, ancient Chinese medicine system, traditional Chinese medicine. That place is where it will actually affect where we're going to sleep better. Okay. And so it'll actually affect the gallbladder, that meridian. And then that is then going to help people or a person sleep better. And so we're using modern day science. And then we're also using, you know, the ancient science of, you know, these amazing systems of health that know and have used, you know, these different points in the bodies for thousands of years.
You know, it's amazing as I'm hearing you speak, Lance, and you got people, they don't sleep, they don't eat right, they're not drinking water, they're jacked up on artificial sweeteners, and the Wi-Fi is going, they're living inside a radiation box, and then they're concerned about investing $20, $40, $50, $60 on protecting themselves. And wake up, everybody. I mean, you go spend $12 for a bunch of crap at Starbucks. I mean, wake up. This is a war. This is not, you know, Bill Gates, we're in a war against Gates, and we're going to win because God has no respect for, you know, as you get to know me, Lance, I have my sword, my David and Goliath sword on my desk. I'm famous for that. And I believe this is we're in a sword process here. This is such simple but effective prevention. And I got a great question from Carol. Carol said, Lance, what about the discs for television? Great question. What about the ones like we have in our condo, we have a 72-inch TV what about that? Do you put it on a disc on that? That's a great question, Carol. Thanks for that question.
Yeah, thanks, Carol. And yes, absolutely. You can definitely put any smart device, any sort of device that's using Wi-Fi or even just, you know, high amounts of electricity. Definitely.
So I tell you, for us, I just realized, Christy, tonight, because we're going to get the strips for our TV, our routers, and Alexa, right? That's what we have in our home. We don't have the Alexa here, and we don't have a TV here, but we have our router. So guys, this is very important. I mean, this is what I'm learning tonight. I mean, I'm a student. I talk about coaching. I'm listening. Lance is a professional expert. I'm so excited we've connected.
Right.
Yes.
Someone just asked if the bands help to protect against power lines and things like that. That obviously you just can't slap one of the, you know, the device stickers on.
Power bands, you mean?
Like the what's it called? The power lines, like the power lines outside. You know, do the bands that you have protect.
Oh, I guess because it's like walking protection. Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of, especially, you know, like where I'm from, there's a lot of houses that have power lines nearby.
Oh, I know what you mean. The lines outside. Yeah.
Yeah, they're above ground. Yes.
Right. So they'll definitely, you know, help support and give benefits and, you know, some like the power lines and like if someone's next to a cell phone tower, like yes, this technology is going to help. And, I mean, the ultimate thing is to get away. Now, I know that's not realistic for most people. They can't just up and leave their home. Like I
Sure.
totally understand that. But doing things to create Faraday cages, or blocking out certain things. If you're like if you're very close to a cell phone tower, I would look into this technology and utilize this technology. And I would also look at ways to basically try to cut it out from the home, try to actually block it. So a lot of people have asked this question, and it relates to it. What if I have a smart meter outside of my bedroom window or outside of my door? Okay. Yes, use this technology. And what I would personally do is I would somehow create or get a silver laced sheets. You can buy these online, where they're just like organic cotton or cotton, any material, and laced with silver. And there's other materials that can be used, and essentially place that over inside your or on your wall, wherever that smart meter is, because that silver will actually block it. Now, with the smart meters and the power lines, yes, we want to block those. We want to keep those out of the home, keep them out of the bedroom. But when you're in your home using your cell phone, your computer, like, yeah, you don't want to block them. You want to use them, but not be as affected by their effects.
Wow, that's what an awesome show. I tell you,
Great, yeah.
So what I learned tonight, guys, I'm very coachable. And Dr. Betsy, I will send you sleep patches. She said, send me dream patches. And Lance, we've had people sometimes put over their mouth, right? The patch, you put one in your neck and one in your mouth, you can't talk, right? I mean, just say yes for Dr. Betsy. Stop talking. She's awesome. She just go to bed, right? But guys, this is awesome. This is why we do what we do. And we were searching out the right EMF protection, radiation protection. I'm so glad we connected. And this is first of many shows. Many of you guys know that we're in a process here. That's why we moved our event, our We the People Fight Back event. Lance, I'll let you know, we moved it from June to August 19th and 20th over in Naples, Florida, because we're actually in the process of building a studio and a showroom here to where we can have, like, imagine tonight, Christy, having 100 people in a live studio audience, which we're going to have two 72-inch screen TVs up here, and we can broadcast this right up there, people in the studio. So we have a lot of construction going on and some development here, and we're creating kind of the conservative marketplace QVC home shopping network kind of news channel. It's going to be, that's why I love your visionary mindset, like my visionary mindset. So tonight I've decided I'm going to get, we need the computer desk for our routers here. So one here. Then we need three at home, the router at home, the TV at home, and then the Alexa. And that's how you take information like this and apply it and be 10 steps ahead of the cabal, be 10 steps ahead of the communist left. We know that. That's what they're after. And that's where they sell this like fantasy island, like come to the island and have 5G. And that's the whole process. So it's, and remember, and it's real small too, like someone just said. I mean, this is literally the strip. I mean, I'm looking at it on my studio laptop here. Is that all pictures? You took that off the side? Is that all pictures? You take that because that's what my laptop looks like. That's ours, right? I mean, that's literally. Oh no, that's not pictures. That's off the side. I mean, that looks like my. I'm looking at it right here. I mean, that's like right next to my mouse pad on my laptop here on the studio, and then the smartphone. I mean, that's the disc right there, the cell phone EMF prediction disc. And then that's the band right there. And you guys, once again, conservativemarketplace.com, 5G protection. Once again, make sure all of you that have pets. I know you guys will get it more for your pets than your family. So get it for the pets, which obviously which is your family. And I think that's a great analogy, especially Evan for cats. So make sure you have it for your cats. And all you just put it on your smartphone. But what a great class, right? Great show. I think it's a class because we learned so much. Lance, any final points you want to share?
I really appreciate the opportunity to share all this information, because these are things that I've been working on for quite some time, and there's so many other people out there in the world that have been doing even way more than this than I have, and I've really tried to highlight some of those people tonight, and thank them for what they're doing. And, John and Christy, thank you both for what you do to get this information out there. And I'm very confident that what is going to happen with 5G and just the whole movement with that is, I do believe definitely that we as the human race and what's true and right and good will prevail. And I do also believe that the technology that's being utilized in the 5G, we can actually use beneficial frequencies, and we can still use some of that infrastructure if needed that's been built up and actually transmit beneficial frequencies. Now, some people might not agree with that. I really don't care. I know and work with people in telecom, and what Tesla's vision of transmitting free energy and communication, that day is going to come, and we can actually use some of this technology that's been harming us, like these cell towers. We can actually use that as infrastructure for beneficial frequencies. Now, I do believe that day is going to come, or something even better. Maybe the infrastructure will not even be needed because other various technologies will be released that make those things obsolete. So I'm very hopeful for what's coming, and am very excited that we've got this technology out there right now to help people here and now. Because it's great to think about what can happen in the future and what will, but we're living here right now, and we need to take action right now.
That's why, guys, make sure you take action, and make sure you share this episode, however you're watching this or listening to it. Just hit share, whatever platform you're on, and make sure all of you will see watching, especially on the video replay. You'll see in the video description below me the direct link to protect yourself and on the 5G protection. For those of you listening to this, just visit conservativemarketplace.com, conservativemarketplace.com, click on 5G protection, and then take a look at all the specific items. And like we said, don't be cheap, protect yourself, make wise investments for you, your family, your pets, and do what we did, kind of do an overview of your office and your home, right, Christy? And say to yourself, and I love that, taking the computer strip and putting it right on the Alexa, and putting it right on the TV, and putting it on a router. I mean, those are three things that we learned tonight that we're going to do. And we're also going to send a dream patch to Dr. Betsy, which is awesome. And guys, and also, as I said, watch for articles coming out. Lance sent me many articles. So watch for many articles written by Lance that I'm going to be sending on a regular basis to our email database. So make sure you are in our email database by visiting conservativebusinessjournal.com, submitting your best email address, or all the articles we publish. You see them out there, and just make sure you're receiving them. So make sure that you do submit your email, and follow us on CloudHub, Rumble, and Telegram. And especially those of you that follow me on Telegram and Rumble and CloudHub, Rumble this, and on CloudHub, share it, and Telegram, share it, because this is real news. You talk about the core of who we are at the Conservative Business Journal, is getting the real news out there. And this is tremendous, Lance. I appreciate your time and your knowledge and all the information. Any final points, Christy, for tonight's show? It's just so important, guys. Don't take this lightly. I want you to picture putting your whole family, especially what you said about children, in a microwave oven. We know radiation is bad. So just take the technology, allow it to, just protect yourself. Literally just have every angle you can against them. And this is proven technology. We did research out the best company to align themselves with. And then Lance actually reached out to me, because the first show we did, Dr. Betsy, we did many of you made wise investments, and Lance got a hold of me and said, hey, you guys I want to know. So we connected, a great relationship. He sent me some items. I sent him some of my books and items, and he's a great guy. And I'm glad to have you part of our team, Lance. And I appreciate all your knowledge and what you're doing, and staying strong on your message.
Absolutely. Thank you, John. I really appreciate that. And thank you, Christy. And I'd like to also thank, the people who have helped me to get EMF harmonized to this point, and the people who are helping. We have a wonderful team of people who have helped and who are helping right now. And, we're going to keep moving forward and pushing this message out there.
That's it. And we're just warming up. That's just the, and guys, this is, my mind's already going with some other episodes with Lance, right? Some specific ones on, because people you see the question for David Annette. That was a power line question from David Annette, right? Yeah, Annette, you got to wrap, you just buy like 10 bands wrapped around your neck. David and Annette, they're awesome. They're one of our top supporters. They're out of South Carolina. They're great people, David and Annette. They're absolutely phenomenal. Dave says I should smile more on my shows, because when you see me speak live, I'm more fired up. Dave, I'm at a desk sitting in a studio. When I'm live, I'm going crazy on stage and stuff. So, but Lance, you're awesome, my man. I appreciate everything you're doing. And guys, once again, conservativemarketplace.com, 5G protection. Any questions? call or text us 561-847-3467, or you can email team, T-E-A-M, team at conservativebusinessjournal.com, and let us know your great stories. Let us know your reviews, and I'll share them with Lance. I mean, we have the great reviews from the pain patches, and I used a dream patch the last 2 nights, and I had some phenomenal dreams, and I woke up like I'm always wake up fired up, ready to go. But it's amazing when you sleep better, Dr. Betsy, how much better you could be. I just had to drop that in there. Yep. So thank you guys. I appreciate you sharing, liking, subscribing, getting the information out, and thank you for patronizing conservativemarketplace.com. And as you guys know, we created the marketplace because we got banned, shut down. Matter of fact, Lance, I want to show. We got 60 seconds.
Of course.
I want to show our conservative marketplace commercial real quick. We went and kind of, because you guys will understand more about us, what we did with the marketplace and how we got shut down. Here we go. And I'll be back in 60 seconds and we'll wrap it up. And guys, I'll tell you, even watching that commercial, Lance, we're so excited because we were shut down. They shut our whole business down in 72 hours. YouTube, we got demonetized in Google AdSense, 2 million subscribers, YouTube, 5,000 videos, 72 hours. They said, we're going to shut your revenue down, put you out of business. And I literally said to God, give me a vision. And conservativemarketplace.com came to vision. And now I'm excited that now we're able to protect people with 5G technology. This is tremendous. So guys, as I teach, big problem, big opportunity. That was a big problem, but now a huge opportunity. So thank you guys. Have a great night. I appreciate you supporting conservativemarketplace.com, 5G protection. And Lance, just hang on for another minute as I end the live broadcast. Guys, I appreciate everyone commenting tonight and being part of our community. And it's on. I will see you. And Carol, that's awesome. Carol said she'll be here in August. Carol from Louisiana. Carol, you're awesome. All right. Good night, guys. God bless you. And thank you guys for all you do.